Welcome to the Golden Days. I'm your host, Cyrus Saatsaz. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild, over on Twitter at Surf Journalist, the program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. And coming up next is a phenomenal guest, Shea Serrano. If you're not familiar with him, he's been a wordsmith, a writer, covering the NBA for, I'm guessing, like 20 years. It's been a long time, but he's been following the game nearly his entire life. Him and I are nearly the same age. He got into the business a little later, but has he made a mark on this industry? Hell yes. And he's got a new book out called Expensive Basketball. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the current NBA. We're talking about his Spurs and Wemby. The man is from San Antonio, well known. And I'm going to guess he will be elated to talk about his Spurs. I'm curious to know how he feels about my Warriors. And the fact that our teams are two of the top dogs, not just in the Western Conference, but in the entire NBA. And I guess that goes by default. If you're at the top of the West, you're automatically at the top of the NBA because the East is that pathetic. So let's bring Shea Serrano on the show. We're brought to you by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of the program and the Believe Network. And this is the Golden Days. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Today's one of the good days where the intro is short. I'm going to make a long run of that soon, just a little bit longer. Welcome to the program. Today's show brought to you by a couple of fine sponsors. And on that note, if you're interested in sponsoring the program, just email us. The email address is super easy, warriors24pod@gmail.com. Again, warriors24pod@gmail.com. If you want to reach out expressing interest in a local sponsorship, we have a lot of great leads. Inventory is limited, however, and until the pen is on the dotted line, nothing's official. So we still have space. So express interest in the fastest growing program covering the Golden State Warriors and also the most viewed and listened to. We're kicking some ass here. We're proud of it. And we still have a lot of room for growth, and we always will have room for improvement. So even if you just have constructive criticism, email us as well, warriors24pod@gmail.com. And if your identity is a concern online, meaning you might have done some sussy things in the past, like things that you may or may not have been very proud of, things that you don't want prospective future employers to learn about you. That's what DeleteMe, one of our two sponsors today, can provide a service for. They make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. It's not just worrying about prospective employers, maybe a future date. It's also about your privacy and your security. Data brokers make a profit off your data. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy with DeleteMe. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for DeleteMe. Now at a special discount for our listeners, get 20% off your DeleteMe plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/pro and use the promo code PRO at checkout. The only way to get 20% off your order is to go to joindeleteme.com/pro and use the promo code PRO at checkout. One more time. Those are a lot of P's, by the way. It takes a pro broadcaster to not make your P sound like. And this is a little trick for you aspiring broadcasters out there. Inhale when you say your P, and then the is eliminated. One more time. That's joindeleteme.com/pro and use the promo code PRO at checkout for that 20% discount. We're also brought to you by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Golden Days and the Believe Network as a whole. And I'm curious because we're recording this before the Warriors and Bucks play, and the line, and this is where the Warriors are earning some respect from the bookies now. Despite being in Milwaukee, the Warriors 3-point favorites. Milwaukee, if you're feeling good about them winning this game outright at home, the money line is plus 128 for them. The OU of this game, 231.5. All the action available at FanDuel, again, the official sponsor and sportsbook of Golden Days. And why don't we now bring Shea Serrano on the program, elated to have our next guest join the show. An absolute delight to have one of the ultimate wordsmiths, if you will, in the NBA. Less and less people are writing, more and more people are talking, and I don't think that's good for society. And Shea Serrano, you're a good man, sir, just for writing books. Your new one is called Expensive Basketball. Is it out yet? I apologize for not knowing that. And if not, when can people?
It just came out. It just came out. So you're good.
And we posted the link to your new book, Expensive Basketball, in our YouTube description. So if besides Google searching it, going to Amazon or your local bookstore, wherever that may be, you can also find the link in our YouTube description. Again, the book is called Expensive Basketball. The author is our guest today, Shea Serrano. You're a legend. Please let me butter you up for a second, because dude, I'm on the older side. I feel like of the media game. Maybe I'm not. I don't know, but I do feel like it's a young man's game at times. And so I'm old enough to remember when you first started. I mean, this was back with Grantland, even before that. Like, describe your origin, sir, if you don't mind. How did you become like an NBA media personality?
So I started out just freelancing. I was a middle school teacher for 9 years, and I needed to, my wife was pregnant with twins. She wasn't able to work anymore, and I needed to make some extra money until she could go back to work. And so I just was looking for a job that I could do in my off time. I ended up trying to be a writer, and so I just started freelancing here and there, picking up whatever freelance assignments I could get at whatever various alt weeklies or magazines. And you start out at the smaller places and then build your resume and flip those into the bigger places. And then, as you mentioned, eventually I end up on Bill Simmons's radar.
Yeah,
he's got Grantland going, which is like this sports and pop culture branch of ESPN. I go and I work there with him for a couple of years, year and a half or so, and then he breaks off and he starts The Ringer. And it was more important to me to work with Bill, Bill is the most successful sports and pop culture writer of all time. So why would I not want to work under him if I have the chance to? So when he left ESPN and started his thing, as soon as he started that up, I was like, hey, can I have a job? And then he was like, yeah, come on over. And then I went and I worked there with him under him for 6 years, and then wrote some books along the way, and then broke out and started doing other various projects, and now here we are.
Bravo, sir. And the middle school teacher makes absolute sense in terms of you being a writer. I'm a teacher myself. I've been a journalism professor for almost 15 years now. And I started in the media, and then academia just felt like a great fit. Now, sadly, I don't know if you've been following at least higher education. I'm sure middle schools have their own issues because people aren't pumping out kids like they used to. And unbeknownst maybe to a lot of people, schools rely on enrollment. So schools are having some budgetary issues. Higher education is having, I feel like, an identity crisis of sorts. The entire higher ed paradigm has been rocked in terms of people and how they spend their money. So that's a whole other discussion, though. We're here to talk basketball, but I respect the fact that you started as a teacher. That explains a lot, because you come off as an intellectual in your writing, and that just reinforces my belief, backing that up. One chapter in your book was dedicated to the Olympics. And more specifically, Stephen Curry, and you're waxing poetic. I love the fact that you compared a Stephen Curry shot, or at least the sound it makes, to Bloodsport, and I forgot the character's name that got killed early. That really just was the whole catapult for Jean-Claude Van Damme's character to really enact revenge. Put it in your words, sir, if you don't mind. That moment, and just Stephen Curry's shot, because it is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so the point of Expensive Basketball is I was just trying to identify things I had watched happen on a basketball court that made me feel something, any sort of feeling, be it joy or dread or excitement or terror or heartache, or any of those things felt like viable things to write about, because that's what I'm the most interested in. And so the book was done, like buttoned up and done, and like I'm turning this in prior to the Olympics. But I'm watching the Olympics, and it's Steph, the greatest shooter who has ever lived. And there's a Steph chapter that's in there, but it's a whole different thing at the time. And I'm sitting there watching the Olympics, and just like everybody else, it's the gold medal game. and then he has like this moment that only Stephen Curry could orchestrate. Nobody else ever in the history of the world would have been able to walk out onto a court with LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Like every basketball killer from America is there, but they're like, no, you do it. You do. You know what I mean? And he hit shot after shot after shot. Each one gets more and more ridiculous, culminating with this goofy falling to the side over two defenders, 30-footer that he just chucks up 100 feet into the air. It felt like. He's doing this in France. Again, it's the gold medal game, and he's never been in the Olympics before. And when it dropped in, the feeling that I had when it dropped in, the feeling that everybody in the arena had, everybody watching on TV had when it dropped in. You didn't have to like basketball,
right,
to understand something special was happening in that moment. My wife, who she has seen 1,000 basketball games by like proxy, just sort of sitting near me by association. But this is happening, and even she is like, "What is going on? This is incredible!" Oh my! Like, when a moment like that happens, I wanna write about it. So I like had to email the publisher and be like, "Hey, I'm not done yet. Actually, I got to redo this whole thing," and I rewrote that whole chapter just for that one specific moment. And yeah, it just he shoots the ball in a way that nobody has ever shot it. Reggie Miller, the first player that I ever loved in basketball, right? Like I could list you 20 other great shooters, but there's something about a Steph Curry jumper that is just encapsulates so many feelings and emotions all at the same time. It's unbelievable.
And is the shot you're referring to in that France game the one where that he lobbed over Wemby? Because the photo of it was like incredible, where you could literally paint a rainbow as the arc that Steph had to achieve just to get that shot off over that ridiculous wingspan, which is what, like 8 feet. Is that the shot, or was it just a bunch of shots? Because that's the one that always comes to mind for me.
The one that I'm talking about is the very last one that he shot. The like
double
good
team
night, the double team.
Yes.
Dribble behind. Yeah, that one, which was just like, what am I watching right now?
Agreed.
What am I looking at?
Unbelievable. And kudos to your publisher for letting you read. What was the original Stephen Curry chapter? I'm dying to know that.
The original Stephen Curry chapter was essentially the same sort of idea, just that his shot feels different than everybody else's. But it didn't have the hook of a single moment to it. Like I kind of talked about. Remember the shot that he hit against Oklahoma City?
Oh yeah. Bang,
bang! Yeah, the double bang during the season when people were like, Steph Curry couldn't play 20 years ago or whatever. Like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
This is ridiculous, right? So that was the hook of the chapter then. But when the Olympics moment happened, it was like that times 10. Like just because it was like this like avalanche, just like boom, 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 real quick, and you're dead. And again, nobody would have had the audacity to shoot that shot other than Steph Curry. He had accrued enough goodwill to be like, I'm going to cash all of this in right now. When I shoot this one shot, I've been saving up all of my capital right now because I want to shoot an over double team falling to the side 30-footer with the gold medal on the line. That's what I want to do.
And the
Steph
world
Curry,
watching Kevin Durant.
The world watching.
And Kevin Durant's next to him wide open. I don't think there's any other play where you could get away with that.
Wide open.
It was incredible. Shea, you and I, people can follow you on Twitter at Shea Serrano. Your name is very simple. Shea, spelled SHEA. And you brought up the fact you and I are about the same age, I think. And if my facts are correct, I don't have to go public with that. The less people know, the better. They can Google search it. But and it's sad that I'm at that age where I'm not just proudly, boldly telling people my age anymore, but it's out there. But you mentioned Reggie Miller being the first player that really captured your attention as a kid, as a shooter. But you're a San Antonio kid, correct? So how did Reggie Miller get onto your radar even before, let's say, Larry Bird? Because Bird was probably, and even Chris Mullin, I'd say those are the first two shooters that got my attention as a kid. I don't blame you for loving Reggie, but I'm just curious how that genesis formed.
The way that went was I live in San Antonio now. I lived in San Antonio when I was a kid. So the only basketball games you would get to watch would be Spurs games, right? You
Right.
either are watching them on the local, like KSAT 12 news channel, you're watching them there. So it's like I'm watching the Spurs and whoever the Spurs are playing. That's all that I got to see.
Or the
But
national
then
game, right? Maybe once a
and then
week.
well, that's the thing. They start doing the national game, the like Sunday afternoon game, and that's where I saw Reggie for the first time. And I was so used to as a kid seeing my black and white jerseys out there, seeing my players who play like in a sort of black and white fashion, if you will. And then this new guy shows up, Reggie, and this blue and maize or this blue and yellow or gold or whatever you want to call it jersey with this cool haircut and these cool shoes. And he's got this like cool sort of very skinny body and just like, but he's out there battling. He's an underdog. He's shoving people and he's talking shit and he's shooting threes, which was like everybody does it now. Back then, that was like a specific weapon that only a few players had. And so I'm watching this guy do all of these things, and it was so the opposite of what I was used to seeing that I was just captivated. I was like, it's like one of those moments where the world opens up a little bit. Like I didn't realize you could play basketball this way. I didn't realize you could do this on a court. I just became infatuated with him. Every single Reggie Miller thing, I was like, I need a jersey. I need the whatever shoes he's wearing. I want to try to get my hair cut like he has it. He showed up on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I'm like trying to record the episode on a VCR. Like every Reggie Miller thing. There's a Slam magazine
Mark Curry.
he's on the cover of, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to steal this from the corner store because I want to have it in my collection. I just was infatuated with them, and then even today, I still feel that same sort of love and appreciation for him. Like this is the guy who made me fall in love with basketball. He'll be in my heart forever.
I hear you. Great and beautiful storytelling there, sir. Thank you for that. Yeah, Reggie was one of a kind. If you missed that era, if you're too young, and the competitive fire he had with Jordan. I know Jordan got his number in all the actual games, but Reggie never backed down once, and I do give him respect for that.
Never.
Here on our program, we cover the Golden State Warriors primarily, and we're like, I feel like we're one of, if not the only shows that does not act in utter subservience to Steve Kerr. And we're not, and I'm not disrespectful to him. I'm not saying that Steve Kerr's a bad coach, but he's not perfect. And his handling of Kuminga and Moody started to raise flags for me the last few years. And before I ask you any questions about that, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but what I wanted to ask you, because you dedicated this chapter in your book to Steph and the Olympic experience, which was beautiful, but the Olympics early on in that run featured Steve Kerr benching Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And that to me, I did not hide my emotions about that, because for me, it was vindication to show people that, look, this is a coach that's very peculiar in terms of his personnel decisions and who he thinks is a good fit on a basketball court, right? Like he does things his way. And the Jason Tatum decision, even his own player, Draymond Green, pushed publicly, loudly pushed back against that. My question to you, sir, is if Stephen Curry does not turn into a hero, I feel like Steph single-handedly saved Team USA with that performance. Because without that unbelievable game or set of games, there was two of them. More specifically, the game against Nikola Jokic's squad. Like that's where they I think they really needed the heroics against Serbia. What, in your opinion, and I'm sorry to go negative here, but what is your opinion on the potential backlash if they lose that game? Because it would have been ugly, man. It would have been ugly.
Here's the thing, because I'm going to push back on you.
Please.
I'm a Steve Kerr guy. Steve Kerr, you're mentioning Steph Curry's heroics that ended up winning them a championship. I mean, a gold medal. We have in our San Antonio Spurs history a Steve Kerr moment, just like that Game 6.
Good point.
2003.
Yes, sir.
Western Conference Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. Steve Kerr, who hasn't played a lick, comes in and hits 4 threes back to back to get us in front and effectively win us that game. I love Steve Kerr for that moment. I will love him forever. So I'm going to defend him here. Here's what I'm going to say.
Fair. That's fair. So that is very fair.
Here's how I'm going to defend Steve Curry. Step number 1, Steve Curry was planning. He was like, you know what might happen? We might play the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. How can I get an advantage on them here? Oh, I know what to do. I'm going to sow some discord on this team. I'm going to have Jason Tatum on the Olympics. I'm not going to bring Jaylen Brown. I'm not going to bring the Finals MVP. I'm going to bring Jason Tatum.
Right.
Great. Step one. Step two, I'm not going to play Jason Tatum. I'm going to get in Jason Tatum's head. This is the best basketball player on that team. I'm going to get in his head. You're not good enough to play out here. That's what I'm going to. He's already doing this, right? So there's the first part.
Chef's kiss for this. I already love what I'm hearing. Go ahead. Sorry.
The second part, you're saying, were it not for the heroics of Steph Curry, they would not have won. Let's assume that that's true. Well, guess what? Steve Kerr is intimately familiar with the heroics of Steph Curry. He has ridden the heroics of Steph Curry to 4 NBA championships.
Yes.
He knows what Steph is going to do. He is 100% confident. He's like, you know what I can do? I cannot play the best player on the championship team. I cannot play him, and I'm going to be fine. I will be fine because I have Steph Curry, the greatest to ever do it. I was not worried at all. Steve wasn't worried at all. Steph wasn't worried at all. We're good. We're fine. Brilliant move by Steve Curry. Brilliant all the way around.
I lose this debate. I'm done. I did not expect that. I forgot the Steve Kerr San Antonio role, and the moment you brought that up, I was like, "Shit, you're the wrong person to go any further than with this." Because yes,
we have at my house, at my dad's house, there's a Steve Kerr magnet. It's of the San Antonio Express News the day after the Steve Kerr game. And the picture, and it's like a Steve Kerr thing, boom, on a refrigerator, one of the many like Spurs championship magnets. But yeah, I'm a Steve Kerr guy through and through.
I don't blame you. And he's Greg Popovich's unofficial adopted son. I get all that. Do Spurs fans dream of Kerr finishing his career coaching the Spurs?
No.
Okay.
That has not been a thing. He feels very much like a Warriors coach. You're great. You did great over there. He's part of the Pop lineage. We get to be like, you're welcome, Golden State, even though that's not the case. But we get to do it still. We're going from Pop to Mitch. Mitch Johnson's our new guy. And he already is like, he has the attention of the city. We're in. We're in on Mitch. We don't need anybody else.
And your team, my God, dude, I don't think I need to ask you how you're feeling, because as a Warriors fan, and I do believe the Warriors have a very strong, legitimate shot at winning the title this year. But what I didn't have in my playbook for analyzing this season was the Spurs taking this leap and Wemby leaping, starting to hit the ceiling that we all knew was there, but the question was when, right? It's now. I mean, he spent an offseason with Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm seeing that reflected on the court right now, never mind his size and his dominance. Look, to me, the Warriors and the Spurs could make a very strong argument. We're only a week into the season. I get it. Everything we're saying here pertaining to the current NBA could be a dated story a week or two from now. But at this moment, I believe confidently that when you look at the NBA and the Western Conference more specifically, there are 3 Titans at the moment. Maybe Denver's in the mix too, but the Warriors just beat them a week ago, and that was very impressive in my book. But the 3 Titans to me, it's Golden State, OKC, the reigning champs, and the San Antonio Spurs. Am I inaccurate in your book? What are your thoughts on the West further?
I would be hesitant to put San Antonio above Denver. I would be hesitant to put San Antonio above Houston, honestly. The adding the Warriors into that mix, you guys are 4-1 now. It makes sense to me. Steph is playing great. There was a great game against Denver when he hits the big 3 he does what he does, right? I get adding the Warriors into that. With San Antonio, we haven't really played anybody yet. And I'm a little nervous about being like, we're better than Denver and we're better than Houston, right? We're further ahead than we thought we were going to be. And Wemby looks like year 5 instead of year 3, which is the most exciting possible thing. But I can't quite say San Antonio. I wouldn't put them in Titan category. Okay. In the Titan category yet, but we're coming. We're coming.
I mean, you don't even have De'Aaron Fox playing yet. That's why I'm ready to put you guys there. I'm also seeing what the young players are doing already. Like Dylan Harper, my God, dude. Like it's almost unfair that it's unfair. Dylan Harper, Castle, unfair. De'Aaron Fox hasn't even played yet, unfair. Like I haven't even heard Harrison Barnes' name once, and he's actually a damn good player. Unfair, dude. I don't appreciate any of this. But
I love how aggressive Castle is. He's a great compliment to the way Wemby plays. Dylan Harper, I love Dylan Harper. People were giving me shit by the second game of the season because I was like tweeting about these are the non-Wemby Spurs players that I love in this order, and it was I had Castle first and then De'Aaron Harper, and they're like, this is too early for De'Aaron Harper. For Dylan Harper, excuse me.
I like that.
I'm like combining them. But they're like, it's too early to feel this way. What about this? But then he just kept getting better and better and better. And I've been high on Harper since game one of the preseason. We played against the Mavericks, and he's up against Cooper, and he just locked him up. And I'm like, I don't know much about college basketball. Like I don't follow it the way that I follow the NBA.
I'm with you.
So I didn't know anything about him other than like little pieces that I had seen. So I'm watching this and then I'm learning like this is Ron Harper's kid. That's who this is. And I have this theory. Let me tell you my theory. Okay, here's my theory.
All ears.
I'm going to explain it, and you'll understand this because you're a Golden State guy. Here's my theory. If you have a superstar player in the NBA, I'm talking about a LeBron level guy, a Michael Jordan level guy. If you have one of those top level guys and their kid comes into the league, the kid is never anywhere close, right? Bronny is not anywhere close. Marcus wasn't anywhere close to it. Like if you know what I mean? If you have that level and their kid comes, it's like maybe it might be okay, but that's probably about it. But if you have like 2 steps down from that level, right? If you have a Ron Harper and his kid comes in, better, right? Klay Thompson, here's his dad. Klay comes in, better. Like if you're telling me this kid is good, Steph Curry, here's his dad.
Yeah.
Steph comes in, better. If you're telling me Dylan Harper is going to go past where Ron Harper was, forget about it. I'm good. Please.
Kobe Bean Bryant, man. No, that's a great point. Like you're right. I respect that tremendously. I think you're onto something, theory. Dude. People
you don't want the kid of the superstar.
No.
You want the kid of the
like that secondary. Yeah, no, totally. The high end role player, however you label that player. Yeah. You're absolutely right. I'm with you there. That's a good point. And Shea, for the younger audience who did not watch the 90s Bulls and all they hear is Jordan and Pippen, people forget the second half of that dynasty. Ron Harper, and he had an amazing career even before he came to the Bulls. He was a badass player, dude. Like it was almost unfair. Dude. I felt like in the same way I feel it's like it's unfair that Wemby now has Dylan Harper alongside him. I think it was unfair that Jordan got Ron Harper on top of that insane team. Dude, you guys are onto something. I'm borderline envious, but thankfully I have something good on my side to root for at the moment. But 3 years from now, Jonathan Kuminga, you better reach some heights. What is your early prognosis on Kuminga? I have you for 4 minutes here. What are your thoughts on the kid?
On Kuminga?
Yeah.
I like him. Especially this is the best season that he's had. We're only 5 games in or whatever. But he looks great this season. Like a threat. He didn't feel like a threat prior to this season. And now he feels like a threat. It feels like the Warriors have been waiting for this particular player since Jordan Poole left. Or maybe even before he left, but since that whole relationship fell apart. Ever since Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole in the face, the Warriors were like, we could use a Jordan Poole kind of offensive threat, right? I think Jordan Poole has fallen apart in the league.
Yeah,
it didn't work out for him. But the Warriors were missing that piece. And then Kuminga steps in. You know, I loved when y'all got Butler. That was like a perfect addition. But Kuminga doing this thing that he's doing this season, where all of a sudden you have to account for him. You didn't have to account for him before, and I think that's a big part of the reason why you guys are 4-1 right now, and it's also a big part of the reason that that people are like OKC they're not going to acknowledge that they're looking, but they're glancing. They're glancing a little to the side. Denver is glancing a little. They thought that y'all were done, and now they're like, oh, wait a second, hold on. You know what I mean? They're doing that. They're doing that thing. I can feel it. I can feel that they're doing it.
Kuminga, to me, the metaphor that I keep bringing up is he's taken on an Andre Iguodala role where he's distributing, he's crashing boards, he's just doing all the things that the team needs. And there's going to be nights like back-to-backs and whatnot where the veterans will not be there, and that's where I think they're going to need him even more. We have an adage on this program: great things happen when Kuminga plays, and it's largely because in the first 4 years of his career, when you look at the numbers, every time he's played 30 minutes or more, the numbers have always been there. I've just been arguing for opportunities, and he's finally getting them, and we're starting to see the rewards here. But you're Spurs, dude. I mean, are you giddy? I'm giddy about my Warriors, but I feel like I'm totally an outsider here. But if you're a Spurs fan, you're giddy too. Are you riding high?
I am beyond giddy right now because here's the thing, right? Wemby shows up. He shows up in season 1. And there's like really no basketball expectations attached to him. He's just this like, can you believe this is real? Like that's how he shows up. We could have lost 82 games that season. It wouldn't have mattered. You would have still been like excited or happy or whatever, right? Year 2 comes. He's on his way toward becoming Defensive Player of the Year, and then he goes down because of the deep vein thrombosis. So that season is a scratch, right? So he comes back this season, and this is the first year that there were basketball expectations attached to him and to the team. Like, if we don't make the playoffs, what does that mean? That's the conversation that's starting to happen, like, around San Antonio with San Antonio fans. What does it mean if we don't make the playoffs this year? Like, that was the expectation that all of a sudden was on his shoulders. And so he shows up in game 1. He has this incredible 40-point game, right? He just, like, dominates all the facets of the court across 29 minutes. He's the best player on the court. Everybody is like, oh my God, everything we watched him doing in the offseason, hanging out with the monks, training with Hakeem Olajuwon, doing dribble drills with Jamal Crawford, learning about intensity from Kevin Garnett. Like, he's applying every single one of those things into the game. He had a game the other night where he had 9 blocks, and it was his worst game of the season.
That's crazy.
That's where we are right now. And so there's one thing to be like, this guy could be this thing, which was what the first 2 seasons were. This season, it's feeling like the delivery of a promise, right? Like, it's not he could be this thing. It is now he's this thing. And if he is doing this already and he continues it, like, I honestly don't even know what to say about it other than I have gotten more texts asking me, how does it feel right now as a Spurs fan? I've gotten that text more times this season than I got, like, when my kids were born, how does it feel to be a dad? I swear to God, that's true. There's like a true thing. That's what Wemby does. Everybody is just, you're tuning into a Sunday afternoon. It's the NFL season. You're tuning into you're like, I'll turn the NFL off. I'm watching Spurs Nets. I need to watch the Spurs Nets game on a Sunday afternoon because this guy is in here who's going to do something I've never seen before. Like, that's beautiful.
And Shea, in terms of beautiful, I'm sure you can attest to this. I think it was the second game of the season when Wemby and Zion faced off. That was amazing basketball, dude. Like, I just and it's just going to get better. I'm so pleased with the product right now. I don't know how you're feeling, but the NBA has highs and lows, and right now, man, like all those worries about the future, I'm not feeling any of that, dude. I think it's in good hands.
We are in great hands, especially coming off. So you come off of last year's playoffs where SGA decides, okay, I'll be the guy. You've got SGA, you've got the Joker. Halliburton is unfortunately down right now, but the run that he had, it was like, this guy's going to be one of our new superstars too. When Wemby shows up, you've got this incredible team building in Houston, where it's like, hold on, we got Şengün and KD look like a monster pairing right now. We got to worry about it. So you've got all of these like great basketball stories, right? But also the way that it's being covered now. There's been a shift in the way basketball has been covered, that you could sort of feel. I thought that like the Amazon Prime Thursday night game, like the show that they built around it was incredible. They were like, we're not going to try to be inside the NBA. We're this new thing, right? We're just a collection of very smart, very capable people talking about a thing that we love. And watching it, I was like, this is exactly what I was hoping this thing would be. You've got that going on. You've got the NBA on NBC. They're doing the thing now where before the game, you've got Costas doing like story recaps of what of who the teams are. James Harden this and the Clippers that, and it's like all you need is for him to tell you for 45 seconds why a game is important, and all of a sudden this is the most important basketball game I've ever seen in my life. Like all of this stuff is happening around this incredible basketball that's being played, and as a basketball fan, I could not be more excited. I was nervous going into the season. What's this season going to feel like? Because last season was so incredible, and this season feels somehow even better already. It's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Unreal. And props to my girl Amina Hussein, who runs Amazon Sports, and she when they first hired her, like her goal was the NBA. And I know she's not like the only one running things there, but I want to give a tip of the cap to my girl there again because
she did great.
Because you're right, the NBA, like all these different, like it was. I was personally very curious to see how this is going to look with the new media partners, and so far, with the exception of Peacock being a little glitchy on the Tuesday night broadcast, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, perfect mix of nostalgia mixed with the modern game. And Shea, look, you've become a staple in the NBA, and this is your new book. It's available now on Amazon. I love the cover, bro. Look at this. That's clean.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty. It's so pretty,
dude. Beautiful,
very elegant.
Embroidered,
very elegant.
That is great word. Shea, I can't thank you enough, brother. Your book is out now. It's called again, Expensive Basketball. You've become a name in this sport for a damn good reason and popular culture. I know you cover all that stuff. Before I let you go, this is just me being a messenger. Hall of Famer Rick Barry, I'm insanely grateful and lucky to call a good friend, and he's been griping to me for years that I don't know if you call him a friend. I'm guessing you do, Bill Simmons, that Bill has never once invited Rick on his program. And I'm just going to be a messenger to you, if you don't mind relaying it to Bill, that Rick is waiting for the call. So
I am not going to try to help you get Rick Barry on Bill's show. I promise you that. I would do a lot of things. That is not one thing I'm going to.
Fair enough. I had to try. But Shea, your book is out now, Expensive Basketball. Anything else you want to promote before we go?
No, I think that's it. I think everybody should just go buy the book because that would be pretty great for me because I like money and I get money when you buy the book.
And nowadays, especially. Hell yeah, man. Help fill that man's pockets. Shea, thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, buddy.
And that was the great Shea Serrano. Incredibly grateful and thankful that he took the time out of his schedule to join the program. A fun 30 minutes, and I tried for Rick. I didn't want to get into the nitty gritty in terms of like why Rick wants to go on Bill's show, which is just to clear the air and the slander that Bill's been espousing for years, literally lying about him in his book, calling him names on his program. And it's all based off secondhand information. That's my gripe in all this. That's why I asked Shea, and he just completely dismissed it. But to ask Bill to bring him on the show because, dude, like instead of just slandering this one of the greatest players in the history of the game, you call yourself an NBA journalist, NBA historian. Just invite him on your show. And even Shea was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But nonetheless, Shea Serrano, cannot sincerely thank him enough for coming on. That was a fun segment. And we'll be back again very soon. We're taping this before the Warriors and Bucks. So depending on when you watch this, we'll either see you again or thanks for joining us, period. And thanks to Shea Serrano for joining us. His book, Expensive Basketball, out in stores now. And speaking of items you can buy, make sure you check out the Golden Days merch store. We now have items available for sale there, shirts, hats, mugs, all sorts of fun stuff. And the logos and designs are not just specifically related to the program. Where we got swag that has Warriors type artistry from the We Believe era, from some retro designs from the 60s and 70s Golden State Warriors, some really slick looks. So go check out the merch store, and it's available on our YouTube channel. And thanks again to Shea Serrano. Thanks again to all of you. We'll be back at this soon. Oh, bye-bye.